Welcome to Quick Course Digest. In any project, there are these invisible forces, these little gremlins that cause delays and frustration. Well, today we're going to learn how to make those forces visible. We're diving into a really powerful tool for streamlining pretty much any process, value stream mapping.
Just for a second, think about your own work. Every single project has them, right? These invisible traffic jams and hidden bottlenecks that just slow everything down. What if you could actually see them? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. So what even is value stream mapping, or VSM for short? The best way to think about it is like taking a picture of your entire workflow, but from like a satellite way up high. It's a snapshot that shows every single step a product or service takes, all the way from the moment a customer orders it to the second it's in their hands. Now, you might be tempted to just grab a whiteboard and start drawing a bunch of boxes and arrows. But hold on. A truly effective map, one that actually tells you something useful, starts with some solid prep work. So let's cover the ground rules to make sure your map reflects reality and not just what you think is happening. First things first, you cannot do this from your desk. You've got to physically get up and walk the process from the very beginning to the very end. And as you go, you talk to the people who are actually doing the work. They're the real experts here. You collect your data step by step in order. And just remember, the goal isn't some perfect, super detailed diagram. It's a high-level snapshot. We're looking for the big picture. Value stream maps also have their own visual language. It's kind of cool. There are specific icons for things like customers, suppliers, different process steps, inventory, and even how information flows, like is it an email or a manual handoff. Using these keeps the map clean, clear, and easy for anyone to understand. All right, let's get to the core of it. The actual mapping. A value stream map is really unique because it captures two critical flows at the same time. The flow of information that kicks everything off, and the flow of the actual product or service that's being created. Now, this is where VSM gets a little weird, but it's also kind of genius and totally different from a normal flowchart. You actually start with the customer way over in the top right corner. Then you map the flow of information backwards from right to left. And then underneath all that, the physical process flows forward from left to right. This whole structure creates this amazing picture of how a customer's demand actually triggers all the action. To make this all feel a bit more real, let's walk through an example together. Let's say our client, Microsoft, has just placed an order for 200 copies of a book series. We're going to map out exactly how that order gets fulfilled, from start to finish. So, remember, we start with the information flow. The order comes in online. That triggers an email to production control. We check our inventory and, whoops, we only have 25 copies in stock. That means we need a new print run, and we decide, hey, let's make some revisions while we're at it. So we send out emails and make some calls to our graphic designer and the print house. That whole chain of communication, that's the information flow. Okay, now we map the actual physical process. This is the sequence of tangible actions, the hands-on stuff. Reviewing and updating the drafts, doing the first draft editing, quality control with the supplier, getting that final approval, getting the print proofs, and finally receiving and shipping those finished books to the client. So drawing the map is just the first part. The real power, the magic, comes from the data you collect at each of those steps. This is where we find the truth, hiding in the numbers. For each one of those process boxes we drew, we collect 3 types of data. First, resource-based. How many people does it take? Second, time-based. How long does the work actually take? And third, quality-based. What's our accuracy? How often do we nail it on the first try without needing a bunch of rework? So looking at the data for our book order, something immediately jumps out. Our internal steps? They're running at 90 to 100% accuracy. Pretty good. But that quality control step with our supplier? Yikes. Only 70% accurate. That's a huge red flag, because it means tons of back and forth and rework. And now, let's get to what is, in my opinion, the most powerful part of the entire map, the time ladder. This thing sits at the very bottom, and it does something absolutely brilliant. It separates the time we spend actively working on the product from the time the product spends just sitting around waiting for the next step. Okay, so when we add up all the time we actually spent reviewing, editing, and approving these books, the value-added time, what do we get? It comes out to a grand total of 19.5 hours. But when we add up all the time the book drafts spent just sitting in inboxes, waiting for review, waiting for supplier feedback, waiting for proofs, the total wait time was, get this, 33 days. This right here is the aha moment that VSM is all about. The work itself took just a couple of days' worth of hours, but the waiting between those steps took over an entire month. This tells us our problem isn't our people not working hard enough. It's that our process isn't working smart enough. So we found the problem. Now what? How do we fix it? Because a map full of amazing insights is totally useless until you turn those insights into action. So, when should you pull this tool out of your toolkit? Well, it's perfect for finding the real root cause of problems, like when customers complain about delivery times. It helps you pinpoint which improvement projects will give you the most bang for your buck. And you can even use it to design a brand new, super efficient process from the ground up.
And if we go back to our book example, the map didn't just tell us, hey, you're slow. No, it told us exactly where we were slow and why. It gave us two crystal clear areas to start investigating.
The map basically handed us our biggest problems on a silver platter. That low accuracy rate from our supplier, it was causing a massive amount of rework. The 33 days of wait time, that was by far our single biggest delay. And that decision to make revisions midstream, well-intentioned, sure, but it added a ton of complexity and time.
And that's really the ultimate takeaway here. A value stream map is so much more than just a complicated flowchart. It is a data-driven visual guide that takes all the guesswork out of improving your process. It tells you exactly where to focus your energy to make the biggest impact.
So, as you go about your work this week, ask yourself, what's the biggest hidden delay in your process? And what single bottleneck could a tool like this help you finally see and fix tomorrow?